Hello everyone. Today is February 19th, 2026, Thursday, and today is our weekly market review. And let's get started. As usual, we'll start with your questions under the previous video. Thank you, buddy. As always, you're the best. I'm interested in your opinion on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and top-tier altcoins in terms of a long-term 10-year perspective. Do you believe in them, or do you think it's pure manipulation? 10 years. Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin will still exist in 10 years. And for good reason. Satoshi designed so many decimal places, and the smallest unit, called a Satoshi, already provides a greater level of precision than what you find in many national currencies. In the long term, I see only growth, with crises that will affect it. At this point in time, Bitcoin is widely regarded by many as a highly volatile and risky financial asset. However, having said that, it will continue to exist. It's digital gold, no doubt about it. As for Ethereum, I believe it's the number 2 cryptocurrency. It is within the vibrant Ethereum community where various groundbreaking technological innovations are constantly being made, which serve as the primary catalyst and fundamental driving force in the ever-evolving cryptocurrency market. And I firmly believe that a vast number of participants and developers, major players, are betting specifically on Bitcoin and Ethereum and less on others. Now, what about some of those other altcoins? Well, regarding the various other altcoins currently on the market, we can certainly take a much closer look at exactly what we have available right now. Stablecoins will continue to exist. There will also be various exchange tokens. They will also likely remain in the market, as long as nothing catastrophic happens to the underlying exchanges, meaning no major crashes, liquidations, or anything like that. As for the future of Solana, let's address this right away. Many people ask about Solana. Solana has carved out a good niche for itself, and many people who want to stay hidden and avoid trading on centralized exchanges typically use Solana-based DEX and Solana wallets. And Solana is very widespread in the United States of America. The Tron network. Tron is a decentralized blockchain that is closely associated with the popular stablecoin USDT. And it is used for a lot of different transactions every single day. A large number of transactions take place through the Tron network, so probably it has the highest number of transactions. Dogecoin is most likely awaiting manipulation. Bitcoin Cash is in 10th place. Look, Roger Ver is one of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the world. Accordingly, he also has a large amount of Bitcoin Cash, and I think it wouldn't be difficult for him to manipulate it. But he doesn't do that. He hasn't done it. If you look at the current daily trading volume, it's absolutely laughable. It's honestly just really funny. It's $500,000 across all exchanges compared to the multi-billion-dollar volumes elsewhere. Regarding Cardano, I don't know much about it because I haven't even used that network myself. But I did see some news that the founder over there unfortunately lost about $3 billion. Well, of course, that is truly a very unfortunate situation. So let's close out this number 11, because if we go deeper, we'll have to discuss every project and my opinion on them. So let's put it this way. Chainlink is a top project, and it will still be in demand even 10 years from now. Most likely. That's it. Moving right along to our next topic today. So I would love to hear your detailed thoughts and perspective regarding the Ethereum to BTC exchange ratio and its current performance. I've done that very often. Let's take a look. Look, the situation here is that this is how the entire cryptocurrency market moves. So you could say, let's put it this way, it might be clearer this way, in cycles. There is a rapid growth, some kind of consolidation, and after that a long-term decline. What happened here? Oh. Here you can interpret it. Let's put it this way. Let's start with the positive. We might see something like this situation here. We might see some kind of pump, but it will just be manipulation. Or a further continuation of the decline like all cryptocurrencies. Of course, here we have this kind of support line, which we can draw. There is also this support line, but if you look at absolutely all cryptocurrencies, and many people talked about this in 2017, 2018, and 2019, that most cryptocurrencies are created simply to increase their amount of Bitcoin. That's all there is to it. And there is some truth to that. If you look at all the projects relative to Bitcoin, they look about the same. It's this kind of downward scenario. And the fact that we will break through these levels, well, that's a fact sooner or later. Even if we make this kind of upward move, most likely we'll end up falling. I'll mark it off right here, and then people will keep buying it back, but Ethereum's dominance will still keep falling. If we look at the targets that we can look at, well, let's measure how much it is here and here. If you look at this whole move, it's 50% by 50%. It grew a maximum from the previous peaks if we measure here. Well, that is exactly what I was showing you earlier, up to these specific price levels, because that represents the absolute maximum. If you happen to be holding Ethereum there, it doesn't matter what the current market price is in USD, and regardless of what happens in the market, it is better for you to just sell it. Speaking of the information I published, it has been a long time since then. I noticed this trend a while ago, but pay attention. At this specific point, you can kind of identify a potential pattern of Wyckoff distribution, but the underlying reality of the situation remains unchanged. We keep falling, falling, and falling. And if you see this kind of consolidation on any instrument, especially relative to Bitcoin, you can be sure that a drop is coming. This is just distribution. I noticed this back when we were, well, that's too much, yes, in XLM. Now here, where is it? Too much. Let's just open the chart. XLM, BTC? Probably. Yes, I mean, this story, this is how it was, and many were predicting. Well, after such moves and consolidation in a triangle like this, it looked as if we were going to shoot up. But I published that we would go down, and now we see what we see. And this is the exact massive market pump that happened back then, which essentially served as the primary catalyst that drove the momentum and ultimately made Stellar's price reach the specific level where it is sitting right now. That's why I hope actually that there aren't any big ones for me. A pump is possible for Ethereum, even in this bear market, but I have some doubts. I mean, well, at most, this is the kind of situation in a breakout. These levels right here are going to serve as our support lines. Now, this one seems unlikely to hold, but I am much more confident about this other one for sure. So, if the price happens to break through here, it would be a better idea to have your buy orders set up in advance, speaking for myself. And as you can see, our own limit orders have already been triggered. If you take a look at this mark right here, it is sitting at 880 or perhaps 883. So actually many of the limit orders that were placed during this drop, that is we bought, and many, though not all, have even already sold. I'll show you now. We sold Link well. We locked in about 0 and we secured a plus 25% gain. We just decided to take a very small amount of oil Because, as I mentioned earlier, while the current market conditions remain in this state, but it's better to look at other markets as well, and regularly here, yes, and Bitcoin. That is, here we have all the limit orders. So if you want to join the web group and get access to the Academy for free, register through the bot below in the description and you'll be happy. If you don't want to register, you can also get a lifetime subscription on a paid basis. It costs $1,000. So let's continue with our discussion. We have recently seen some significant and unexpected changes in the current market. Well, let's take a look. Gold. Gold has dropped significantly, and this consolidation right here, the one that's happening now, it's pretty strong. It's quite strong. Many people have already opened shorts here with such stop losses. Naturally, we're going to break through with these kinds of sticks, and we'll come down to our 6,000. Basically, those are my thoughts. As for silver right away, so as not to get sidetracked, we see that while silver is not quite as robust, silver eventually manages to catch up with gold, and right now we are simply seeing this minor period of market consolidation. And as I said in the previous video, there are two options here. Either we get this kind of scenario or this one, that is a breakout of the previous high. So looking at the charts, the entry point is actually not bad at all. But I currently don't have any active trades in silver right now, simply because I already own quite a bit of physical silver. And honestly, I just don't feel like adding more to my position at this moment. From a psychological perspective, it is incredibly difficult to convince yourself to buy financial instruments that you already own at 4 times less than their previous value. So, speaking of the current oil market, it remains my absolute favorite financial instrument to trade, right alongside my interest in various cryptocurrencies, with which I made the most money. We see a situation here where we have this horizontal support line, which we will break through, and the question is when we will break through it. Most likely, once we see that the liquidity is taken out from above, we can reasonably expect a price reversal occurring somewhere within this zone, starting roughly from this point right here. So the primary scenario we are looking at is like this. First, we wait for a clean breakout, and then we anticipate further growth from there. That is the complete outlook for this setup. That's the story. So I wonder what other interesting things shall we look at. Many curious people are also watching this right now. Let's look at PX S&P 500. If we take a look right here, the weekly chart is beginning to turn around just a little bit. But then again, we can see there is still this clear horizontal resistance line sitting right here. I really don't like it at all. Most likely it will break through here with a lot of liquidations. Because, you know, it's obvious, let me put it this way, it's obvious. These kinds of horizontal volumes, that is levels, they act as a magnet for stop losses and also for liquidations. And also, well, for what reason exactly, I can't say. I'm not Nostradamus. That's just a fact after this. Only after all of this is broken through, that's when we can start talking about some kind of global correction. If, for example, some kind of instability starts in the world, well, there's already enough of that. But if there's some serious instability involving the involvement of the United States military, that's not something anyone wants. But that's the world we live in. That's the kind of situation we have globally. So right now, talking about any global reversals or anything like that is difficult at the moment. Let me put it this way. I actually have two scenarios for Bitcoin. Look, one of my subscribers asked about, he removed not this channel, but he says there's this channel, and usually if we break out of this channel, if you look at it, he says, if you look here, there's a channel even without this one. He says, oh, he showed this channel, and if we break through this line, meaning we start to grow, then the bear market ends. I pointed out this channel to him first and showed that we even broke through it, and then we look at other channels. These channels are, but they only work to a certain extent, and that's why I showed him that this is the current trading channel that we have right now, but it could potentially become completely invalid. If we break through a specific key level right here, then a brand new channel might start to appear on the chart. So now this kind of channel will appear, and that's how we'll be consolidating there. That's the kind of situation it is. So this is one possible scenario. And I'll tell you this, after these kinds of moves, here the drop usually continues further. Liquidity is taken out from below. Well, this happens very often. Let's analyze this. Let's say here. This has happened several times here. That's an excellent indicator. For example, this one. It dropped here, then recovered a little bit afterwards. And then we took out this liquidity from below. Then we consolidated again and once more took out that liquidity from below. Even here, after we started consolidating, we took it out right here a little bit. And after that, volatility slowed down and so on. We still have plenty of time remaining for this specific market scenario to fully play out. Consequently, at this very moment, we are currently right in the middle of the process of forming what looks like a solid market bottom. And it will take quite a while to form still. We still have 8 months left in the schedule, so that is 7, 8 and so on. So we have plenty of time remaining. Even if you are seriously considering entering into a trade right at this very moment, and heaven forbid you are doing that with high leverage futures, simply because you are counting on the price of Bitcoin eventually reaching $200,000. Well, you should be absolutely sure that your trade won't survive until 200,000, and honestly, maybe not even until 100,000. Because you must realize that any significant drop with leverage, even down to 45,000, well, that's a complete wipeout for 3 times leverage if you're trading with that 3 times leverage. It is simply too risky for most traders to handle in this volatile market. So the current market situation is essentially looking like this. You should just wait patiently until the months of September or even into October. And only after that period should you begin the process of gradually entering and accumulating some long-term positions. Right now I have active speculative short positions that I am managing, which I close here, then open again at a lower price point, close them over there, and so on and so forth. So that's the situation. Honestly, there's nothing particularly interesting to say because nothing is really happening in the market. Of course, there are some news items, but in reality, nothing is going on. The Chinese New Year has passed, and we've only just started this year according to the lunar calendar. So the lunar calendar sounds good, especially in the cryptocurrency market. So that's the situation, which is why I didn't release a video on Monday. I'm releasing it on Thursday instead. But we're still making money. As you can see, I've already shown you the proof. Every week a new educational lesson comes out, so join us. Moreover, I've already talked about BitUnix. The exchange is expected to launch its own token. I've already shown examples of exchanges launching their own tokens. So for me, these are currently the most obvious opportunities for big gains. Here you can see the charts. If you want, open them up. They show all the multiples that native exchange tokens have achieved. And BitUnix will have a similar situation. Well, maybe not 95,000%. But even if it's just 3 times or 4 times, that's still very good. So register and generate trading volume. You might receive tokens from the exchange as an active participant, so that's why you need to generate volume. To do this, you need to be active and participate in various competitions, and most likely the token will be announced sometime May or April. There will be an offline tournament in which I will participate. And there is a very high probability that's where they will officially announce the details of the token launch. So there is definitely still some time remaining to generate a certain amount of trading volume on the platform, so that you can potentially get an airdrop to your account. I can already see it. Some people are creating accounts, funding them, but they're not even generating any volume there. I mean, I see all of this, but it's actually quite interesting, that meaning you can make money even during a difficult bear market, with minimal risks. So if you enjoyed this, please like the video and subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's really important to me because it's an indicator. Basically, you motivate me to make these videos. If I see there are few views, few likes, and few comments, and honestly, it makes me not want to do it. I mean, to record videos and so on, so please support me, because I'm not always motivated to make videos. Additionally, please leave your comments and suggestions for the next video down below. I will be sure to answer all of your questions. Have an absolutely wonderful day. I love you all so much, and goodbye.